So this lady had to actually bend at the waist or turn her whole after 60 years. Here's this 90-year-old lady turning her head for the first time. He had another woman who had her head on her shoulder. We can't do that. To look attractive again, be like this. Now Joe adjusted her so her head was upright for the first time. Wrist and his pins in his knees and ankles. The only thing he didn't do and break was his head. Now this bloke's body was as bad as this. His atlas was 6 degrees bad. He was depressed. His marriage had failed. He had 2 beautiful girls, daughters. I said to this bloke, mate, you've got to see Joe. Done. Another story of a girl on a property. She was riding a horse and she fell off the horse. The horse came back to the homestead. The parents, mother and father, went to look for the girl. She'd fallen off the horse but couldn't find. They took her to the Camden Base Hospital, couldn't find any problems with her, but her neck was out to blazes because the atlas was twisted. Relationship with the boy, you know, broke off the relationship. I went and saw this girl who was sitting there with this and the head tilted and this. He corrected the girl. And they thanked me. Oh, we've got the sister back, you know, she's so lovable. She started up another relationship, started riding a horse. Do you want me to continue? Chiropractic, people want to know what are the answers to my ailment. The only way you're going to do that is through research. With research, and you've got to have funding for research. Otherwise, chiropractic's just going to be the same as it is and not get the acceptance from the medical part. People who have been adjusted by chiropractors love what chiropractors do. You don't need to go to a doctor if you go once a month to a chiropractor. But research is the most important part in the medical field. It's the most important thing that chiropractic should have. Adjustments. What you do to correct someone's bad problems. That's the way you're going to show the general public of the benefit and the value of chiropractic. Oh, trials have got to be, all right, we find that we do research into person's spinal problems and whatever else they may have, correct that problem. If it's going to be a bad leg or a foot, or it's going to be a back problem or a neck problem or whatever it may be, they're your trials, they're your follow-up adjustments from your research. You've got to do this so that you can find that people are going to have well-being. People that have got a cancer-related illness will find after a lot of chemotherapy that they can't breathe properly. If you go to a chiropractor after you've got a cancer-related serious problem, you'll find with an adjustment, you can breathe properly and you've got quality of life. I think that's the only way to go. Do you remember when we had Matthew Metrick, who had the only adult liver cancer in the world, hepatoblastoma?
Yes.
He hadn't eaten for 14 days. He was lethargic. He was crook. I had him feeding through the nose, brought him down to you, and you adjusted his atlas. When we were taking him back from Camden to the Westmead Children's Hospital, young Matthew, I asked him, how you feeling, mate? You hungry? He was saying, oh yeah, fine. And we bought him a McDonald's cheeseburger, a little Coke and small fries. And by the time we got him back to the hospital, he had colour in his cheek. That was quality of life. He had a cancer that was the rarest cancer in the world for a child, the only one diagnosed. But he was sick for 14 days and hadn't eaten. He had to be intravenously fed through the nose. And we gave him quality of life by just adjusting his atlas. Isn't that important?
So in the US, the cancer hospitals were more integrated. They had a lot of other complementary therapies.
Absolutely. You know, one of the things...
Music therapies?
Music therapy, where you had 3 musicians that would go around to a ward, to a room, and they would play music to the child with cancer. We don't even do that here. That to me was the answer. The other thing that I like that we don't do here, when a child in the United States has had cancer-related illness, he might be 5 or 6 years of age, they still accept that child well into their 20s and 30s, even to 40. But it doesn't, they don't get bedded in the hospital. They have an outpatients sector where all their records are kept. So they actually go to the hospital and they follow on the response problems that the person may have, the child to a teenager to a young adult, with long-term effects. For your chiropractic, if you want to do something with the research, find the person that's doing something that is outside the square, outside the box. He may not be in Sydney, he might be in New Zealand, he could be in the United States, he could be in Japan or Germany or wherever he may be. Utilise that person with his skills with other people to come up with one particular conclusive result that you want. the public want to know, they want to have some sort of science within their treatment. Because all you're doing is you're getting no support from the medical fraternity. Hence is to show them scientific results, because they've got no answer to that. They can't answer against science. And if you've got the science there, beautiful. Then you put in what is regarded as your trials are your treatments. What we do in the medical side of it is trials to find out, how a patient's going to respond. You do the trials, which is treatment from the results you get out of the science. That's the best way. And a lot of things come out of adversity. My prior life and my childhood was bloody terrible, but that's given me a lot of...
Didn't you used to sleep on a front porch?
I did.
Was that you?
Yep. I lived in boarding houses when I was a kid. Never wore shoes till I went to high school. You could play the piano on my ribs. But mate, I think out of adversity, you can find some sort of respect and compassion for others. I wouldn't like anybody to live like I had to live. I wouldn't like anybody to lose a child. I think that's a terrible thing. It's a trauma that basically, in a lot of respects, everybody becomes a victim of it. The family, all the brothers, the aunties, the uncles, of a person's illness. If you can save that person that's got the illness, you save the whole family. And that's very important. You're not saving one, but you're saving dozens. And I think that's a very good result. What drives me to do that? I haven't got the foggiest idea. A lot of people I know that have started things only do it for a short period of time and think, oh, I've done my deed, let someone else take over now. I've never stopped and I've never lost my passion for it. What does this for me? There must be some other source somewhere that's doing this to me. I haven't the foggiest idea and I can't answer the question.
Maybe that's the power.
Focus away from yourself and put your focus on someone else. It's not about me, it's about the kids.